What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. Today we've got a Total War Warhammer 2 versus 2 quick battle for you, where I am teamed up with my longtime friend Magic Potato. We are taking the Lizardmen and the High Elves, and we are facing off against two quick battle opponents who are using the Skaven and the High Elves. So first off, you'll see that I have brought Krokgar. I've brought him on his Carnosaur mount, and besides that, I've also got a Skink Priest with the Lore of Beasts up here on Pterodon, and I've also got a Saurus Scar Veteran. So I've also got, that's actually becoming one of my favorite Lizardmen units, the Saurus Scar Veteran on top of a cold one. He's got anti-large, armor piercing, and he's just really a hero hunter. Besides that, we've also got this Pharaoh Bastillodon over here. Now, for only 700, it's got actually really good weapon strength, a ton of health, and besides causing terror and fear, it'll just rampage through the enemy units. So I really like bringing that Bastillodon. It's just so cheap, and I really think you can get a lot of value for the cost. Here in my front line, you'll see I've got 3 groups of Saurus Warriors with shields, as well as 2 groups of Skink Cohort. And those Skink Cohort, those are to get in there. They've got 120 models, which kind of ups my model count, and with the 3 chevrons placed in them, they've actually got 28 defense, so which is not, I mean, it's not too bad. We've also got these 2 groups of Skink Skirmishers, which are those blow dart infantry. Look at them with their little blow darts right there. They're so cool. And I mean, they're really there just to, they're pretty cheap, and they're there to really shoot poison. So besides the poison, if anyone chases them, they'll kind of scamper off, and maybe we can get some expensive units to go ahead and chase those cheap skirmishers. Here in the back, we've got 3 groups of Temple Guard, and so it's a pretty small army. These elite halberd infantry, they're, you know, besides their charge defense, they've got armor piercing, the 85 armor, they've got shields, so I really do like to bring some elite infantry just to kind of, you know, cut through whatever the opponent may bring. Over here for Magic Potato's army, if you take a look from the top, you'll see right off the bat that he has brought a prince. He's got a prince on a star dragon, and he had, you know, with that dragon breath, 580 armor piercing. He's got, you know, fire attacks. He's just all over the place. So that is going to be just a great addition, especially when you're fighting the Skaven who've got a hard time dealing with things that are in the air. Besides that, he's got this noble over here, which is on a warhorse, and you know, it increases his speed. He's got 100 armor, and that's just kind of, you know, just a great unit to have all around, be able to get in there, do some fighting, and hopefully, you know, send him to take out the enemy caster. Finally, he's got this Lore Master of Hope. So on his Lore Master, it looks like he's brought Malkos, Mystifying Miasma, he's brought Regrowth, and he's also brought that Shem's Burning Gaze. So he does have pretty cool spells there. I love that Lore Master just because he's able to bring so many different variable spells to the table, and he really is a great addition to almost any High Elf army. Here for his front line, you see he's got some White Lions, some Sword Masters, he's got a group of Spearmen, another group of Sword Masters, and then he's got more White Lions there on the end. So he's got a pretty strong group here. The Spearmen in the middle are going to be the weak flank, but if they break, you'll see here in the back, he does have this group of Phoenix Guard, and he's got 3 chevrons in him. So they're all the way up to 57 melee defense. They do have armor piercing. They've got 100 armor. Those guys are just beasts, and they'll be in the back ready to fill in any gaps that he may have in that front line. And finally, he does have 2 groups of those Lothern Sea Guards. So those are just, I love the fact that they've got that spears, they've got anti-large and charge defense. So if there's some, you know, large units, cavalry or something that try to charge into the back of those archers, those Lothern Sea Guard really can defend themselves with those spears they've got. Over here for the Skaven player, you'll see that he has brought Lord Skrok. So I love Lord Skrok's model just because he does have that that book on his back, and look at that with his sensor and everything. He is just super ugly and super cool. So he does have a ton of spells. If you saw, he's got I think he can summon the plague rats, he can summon the clan rats, he's got you know, all sorts of different spells that he's brought to the table, and so he'll be you know, just able to provide a lot of utility for the Skaven. Of course, here in the front line, he does have some Storm Vermin with halberds. He's also got a couple of groups of Plague Monks and some Sword and Shield Storm Vermin, as well as some Censer Bears. So these Censer Bears are really cool. They kind of look like the guy who walks down the aisle in the Catholic Church dropping the incense. But you see here, they do have magic attacks, and they've also got some contaminated. So everyone around their attacks kind of just takes hits to their leadership. And so they will help kind of rout off some units when they engage. Here in the back line, you'll see he does have 2 groups of clan rats with spears. Those are protecting this one Plague Claw catapult. I love the plate cloud catapult. It is super cool. So you know, hopefully we can take that out pretty quick, because that plate cloud catapult could cause some trouble. Since neither of us brought any artillery. Finally, he also has 3 groups of rat ogres. So what's a Skaven army without some rat ogres? You know, it's so so awesome. The belly flops and all the different cool stuff they do. I love their animations, and those are just going to provide some meat, some heavy hitting armor piercing to that Skaven army. Now for the High Elves, he does have 3 groups of Lothern Sea Guard, and those each have a chevron in them. So when we're fighting, look at them with 46 melee defense. Those Lothern Sea Guard are definitely going to cause some damage. I mean, they're able to get a lot of shots off. And in single player, I've faced a whole army of them, and they're just able to tear things apart with those arrows. But behind them and protecting them, it looks like he's got this group of Phoenix Guard. Those are those elite halberd infantry. They're 36 armor piercing. They've got 50 attack, 52 defense, and they're just overall badasses. So they should hopefully be able to help you know, keep those archers together and do some major damage together with them. Here we've got a couple groups of White Lions, as well as a couple of groups of Sword Masters. So we've got those Sword Masters, and right in between them we've got a Lore Master. So this is just like the Hoth boys in action, and they're ready to do some battle. Finally, last but not least, over here on the side we do have, oh, look at that bad boy. He is super cool. Let's take a look at him. Oh man, that is the Frostheart Pheonix. So I haven't seen that before, so I was pretty excited to see that in this battle. And if you look real close, if I get up close here, you'll see he does have this Blizzard aura. So with minus 9 melee attack and minus 10 armor piercing damage to 30 meters around himself, he is going to be able to kind of keep units from killing him. And if he gets in there, he can even hover over and really just debuff all the enemy melee troops all around him. So let's go ahead and get this battle started. Right off the bat, you'll see that Plague Cloud Catapult came right in. And so actually, since we were down this hill, if we look here, look how far down and how much we had to climb. So they had a severe advantage on positioning, and with that catapult we want to get engaged as quick as possible to avoid you know, any long-term fire. Oh man, look at that. They're coming in here. There's going to be some heavy hits from that Plague Claw catapult, and we just really wanted to get out of this fire. And you see he's actually going to be not able to get his firing arc going, I think, and once we get at a certain position. And luckily for us, those Plague Cloud catapults are like extremely they're extremely inaccurate. So right here in the back, I wanted to slow it down to show you that look how many units we got. I mean, this this is an overcasted Flock of Doom, and but it is, I mean, it is back, boys. It is able to do a ton of damage. Look at how many, I mean, it is, although it's not taking out the models, it did a ton of HP damage to the units here on the High Elf squad. And even if that Skink Priest was able to, you know, take some damage from the overcast, he's able to heal it back with a charge of that Cold-Blooded just by getting out of the way. Down here, you'll see that we have caught Tyrion, and so he is having to get right out of the action. We were able to get this Bastillodon, and we were able to get Krokgar on him, and he just had to run off. But luckily for him, he's got that major speed, and so he is going to be able to get out of there no problem. So he's actually brought this Frostheart Pheonix in here. And you'll see here that it has slowed down and reduced the melee attack. I mean, some of these units these Temple Guards are down to 23. I mean, that is just a major debuff. Let's take a look at this again. Look at those birds, man. Oh, wow. So we're down to 64 units. So we're actually starting to get a few kills here, but look at the HP damage that he's taking on these lines. Besides getting the charge in here with these Saurus Warriors, those Flock of Dooms are really starting to take their toll. Over here on the left side, you'll see that Magic Potato has actually got a pretty good frontline engagement going. So he has managed to kind of hold these Rat Ogres in place. He is casting that Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma. He's getting as much damage, I think, as he can on these Storm Vermin. And that's actually a great unit to be able to cast that on. And these Lothern Sea Guard are actually able to fire right into those Rat Ogres. So he really hasn't been able to do much with his Plague Claw Catapult, and since he's got this Noble in here, he's got it in here chasing the Catapult, he's got it chasing Lord Skrok, and that Noble, look at him just knock Lord Skrok flying. And that Noble is actually going to be able to take out Lord Skrok pretty easily. If we take a look over here on my side, you'll see that these Skink Skirmishers are being chased off by this Frostheart Pheonix. But for me, that's great. Those cheap skirmishers facing off against this expensive Frostheart, that'll just make my day. And as long as he's going to keep all these units grouped up here, we're actually able to get the Temple Guards into the back. And even though these Lothar and Sea Guard, they are able to do some damage, they're not going to be able to take some elite units like those Temple Guards. We're just doing major damage here. So you see that the Phoenix Guard are almost dead. The Sword Masters are dead here, and he has a full Lore Master. But there's just major hits that went to all these High Elf units, and we'll just, even though he's got upgraded, I don't know why he upgraded the Spirit Leech. I think that just increases the range. But we are gonna be taking damage as well on Krokgar, and when he's fighting this these Sword Masters, he's gonna take some major damage. Over here on Magic Potato side, you'll see that the left flank has actually collapsed, but he had these Phoenix Guard in reserve. So those elite Phoenix Guard, now they've got 34 kills. They're going to hold the flanks, and these Skaven units, they're not going to be able to break down those Phoenix Guard, I don't think, since they're still fully confident and they're only a little bit winded. This Lore Master is in here. You see he's surrounded by Skaven, and there's just battles going on all over the place. Luckily for me, if we take a look here, you'll see that I was able to get these Temple Guards. We were able to get them in here, and I'm actually able to help out Magic Potato, and that is going to make this group of Plague Monks and this group of Plague Monk Censer Bearers, they're going to rout right off. If we're trapped between some Sword Masters and some and some Temple Guard, you're going to be in for a lot of damage. We've got another Spirit Leech over here on Krokgar, but we're actually just continuing to just do major damage. Look at all those corpses. Now the owl, Lord Skrok actually managed to get off a spell, and he's going to do some significant damage here. But those Temple Guards, I mean, they're going to be able to hold it out. I don't think they're dead quite yet. And even though he has gotten some good spells off, we've also done pretty well over here on our side as well. So you see here that we were actually able to use the Skink Cohort and the Scar Veteran to chase off this Frostheart Pheonix, and the Scar Veteran is still full health. So that Scar Veteran, even though, look at that, it's like it's the changing of the guard. We've got Krokgar, he's running off here. I cast Cold Blooded on him right away since it reduces his defense and his attack, but it replenishes his hit points, so you do not want to use that when you're in a battle. And since we've got the Scar Veteran up to full, we're going to be charging him in here to try to take out the rest of the health on this Lore Master, and maybe to take out Tyrion also. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll see that almost all of these Storm Vermin and these Skaven have actually routed off to these Phoenix Guard, who have 86 kills now. And luckily for Magic Potato, he's still got plenty of ammo on the Sea Guard, and with their extreme range, they're actually just firing right up here into these Rat Ogres who are being sandwiched by the Prince, as well as the fire from that Sea Guard. He's also, it looks like, able to finally kill off the rest of this Plague Claw with this Noble, and so there's just not a lot that that High Elf player is going to be able to do with what he has remaining. All right, so we do have just more and more damage. Look at those Skink Skirmishers; they're still firing in. We've got Tyrion trapped here. We've got this Lore Master trapped. We've got some Saurus Warriors. We've got the Pharaoh Bastillodon. We've got the Scar Veteran. We've got all sorts of rampaging, non-rampaging. We've got our Skink Priest still up above here. And that is pretty much it. I mean, the High Elf player has just gotten wrecked. And you see, after that use of Cold Blood, we do have 1,600 health or so left on Krokgar. And so we're just really, really going to carry the day, I think. Look at that. You see the Tyrion's being chased off there by that Scar Veteran. He's still got full health. Our Bastillodon's in there, and look at all those dead bodies. So we were able to charge that hill. We were able to take the hill. We were able to luckily use that Flock of Doom over and over again to really just punish those clumped up units, and really we were just able to carry the victory on that right flank, as well as Magic Potato was able to, with only 314 losses, was able to carry that left flank really well. Look at that Prince. So that Prince on that dragon was just a beast with 126 kills. He was diving in with his AoE attacks and just doing major damage. The Skaven really do have a hard time with these really strong flying units, and so it was really visible there in that battle. You see, he's also with those late joining Phoenix Guard. The fact that they were staying there in the back and they were able to come in fresh at the end of the match. I mean, 103 kills, and they were just breaking units left and right. I wish I had gotten to show you a little bit more of Magic Potato's battle, but he was able just to kill a bunch of those Skaven. And when we were able to bring in a group of these Temple Guard to help, I think it was this group because they have so many kills, it was really just the straw that broke. Let's muck some barns back. He did have 88 kills though there with Lord Skrok. He was getting good spells off. He got a bunch of summons. And you see, besides that, he was able to get some pretty good kills with these Plague Monk Sensor Bearers. But you saw we were able to use the Temple Guard to kind of take out Plague Monks and Sensor Bearers and all sorts of things there near the end, near the end of the match. Unlucky for him, these Rat Ogres were just targeted just non-stop by these Sea Guard. So the Sea Guard themselves actually got 21 and 30 kills, so that's not too bad. So it was just really hard times. That Plague Claw was not able to get engaged. And then once the two armies kind of did get engaged, I think we were able to get in there and disrupt that catapult right off the bat. If you look here for Rikulon, he used the High Elves, and if we take a look at my army, you'll see that I wasn't nearly as high killing as Magic Potato. Although he was facing off against the Skaven, I still there's 438 losses here on the High Elves, and so I'm wondering if maybe Magic Potato got a few kills over on my side, because the Bastillodon and stuff, I had him targeting the Tyrion and the Lore Master. I had a lot of stuff targeting that Frostheart Pheonix. You see these Skink Skirmishers with only 0 and 2 kills. They were still alive, still had ammo, and they were just poisoning units left and right. And so I think that even though they didn't get a lot of kills, I felt like they were really helpful to the overall pace of the battle. You see the Scar Veteran still had full health, and even though he was able to take Krokgar almost to death, I was able to heal him back up. And so, he really did have a hard time dealing with this legendary Lord Corps. The Skink Cohort, they were in there. They were able to get a few kills, not too many, but overall, I mean, it was just really a pretty good game for both of our sides. The real problem I feel like is that Frostheart Pheonix couldn't really find a good place. Kind of went to the back and then went to the sides. It took a bunch of damage here and there, but it wasn't really able to get in there and do the I think help as much as he had hoped. These Frostheart, these Lothar and Seaguard as well were just taken down mercilessly by the Flock of Doom. That Skink Priest was just really able to disable these Lothar and Seaguard, and once I got a group of Temple Guard there in the back, we just kind of shut them down. So overall, it was still a wonderful game. They really tried to hold that hill against us, but we were able to kind of charge up the hill and overcome it with our super big monstrous options like our Sky Dragon and our Bastillodon. So it was just a really great game, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to say good game to my opponents, Let's Muck Some Barn and Rikulon, and thanks so much to my teammate Magic Potato for the wonderful game. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please subscribe below for more great online content. This is Black Iron, and this has been another one of Black Iron's Battles.